Formula One series from Codemasters has been going from strength to strength since its debut in 2010. Sticking with a small but strong set of game modes, including a single-player career, but constantly refining and improving the gameplay experience on the track, has resulted in the best F1 games ever made. Simply put, F1 2013 is the best of the series so far, and the best F1 game ever made. It's a huge statement, but no game has managed to capture the complexities and subtleties of the sport and condense them down to a unique and captivating gameplay experience that pleases both the casual and committed communities alike. There have been more realistic games and more arcade fun games, but none have looked this good and played this well. Add to that the long-awaited introduction of the Classics mode, which sees you race legendary cars from the 80s and 90s, and you are left in no doubt just how good F1 2013 is. First off, F1 2013's graphics are stunning. The subtle motion blur, the individual raindrops on the side pods of the car, the weather effects alone are incredible. This year, you can really notice all the little improvements that may not mean much individually, but put together, they create a really immersive experience. Even down to how realistically the driver holds the steering wheel compared to the first games. There are dozens of little touches that make F1 2013 a really high-quality experience. Then there's the physics, which have been tweaked again. They've reverted back a little to 2011, the game that many feel was the best of the previous installments, but it's smoother and easier to handle through the fast corners using a joypad. You need to be much more subtle on the throttle as well to stop the back kicking out and killing your tyres during a race. The career again remains basically unchanged, apart from the much-needed mid-session saves, and mid-season contracts too, which give the whole experience a bit more pace and momentum. On top of this, there is the expanded Young Drivers Day, which is now a comprehensive and genuinely useful guide to players of all levels to get started with the game. If there is one criticism of the single-player career, it's the AI of the opposing cars. There's too much contact when racing wheel-to-wheel, as they tend to jitter about and twitch erratically when attempting an overtake, or even just barreling into the side of you for no good reason. The races are much more of a chess match though, with a lot of emphasis on strategy, making them a much more interesting experience. Classic cars from the 80s and 90s from Williams, Ferrari and Lotus. McLaren are unfortunately not featured, but hopefully they can come to a license agreement soon. The 90s cars, although you have to pay extra, are definitely overall the most interesting. The inclusion of the 1999 Williams, piloted by Ralf Schumacher to basically nowhere, and the 1999 Ferrari, in which Michael Schumacher broke his legs at Silverstone and then didn't even compete in half the season, are odd inclusions, and it would have been great to have seen the classic two-tone BAR, but as a first round of license negotiations go, there are no complaints here. The scenario modes are fun, but just getting stuck into the time trials on the classic tracks is really satisfying. The scenario modes are fun, but just getting stuck into the time trials on the classic tracks is really satisfying. Add to this the usual bevy of online modes like a co-op career, and without doubt, F1 2013 is the best game of the series. The AI can be frustrating at times, but this is a small complaint considering the incredible quality and obvious love for the sport present in F1 2013, easily the best of the series.